Hi everyone, welcome back. This week we're going to try to finish up all the mechanical side of the car so that when I come back from my vacation, which I'm probably currently on if you're watching this, I will be ready to put this car on scales. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you who subscribes, who watches, who interacts with everything that I do. It means so much to me that you can't even fathom how much it means to me at this point. So if you haven't subscribed, though, please consider doing so because it helps me to gain an audience. And that means that what I'm doing doesn't go unnoticed, that I'm actually making some sort of difference to the automotive community, which is the whole reason I put this channel together. It also helps with reach, finding new people, and ad revenue from Google, who owns YouTube, who's a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, like I've said in the past, and it hopefully will allow me a bigger opportunity to get some of the revenue back from the ads that they sell you using my intellectual property. So, I think that's pretty fair. If you know anybody who would like this sort of thing, please send them my way, etc. If you'd like to help the channel in a more direct fashion, you can go to our merch store over at GleasonBrosRacing.com. We have race team merch. We have novelty items. We have hats for the channel. We have koozies for the... Oh, hey, there's a koozie right there. Look at that. It's really dirty because I picked the white one. Anyway, that just means you're working if things are dirty. We have stickers. We have all sorts of other items that will directly help the channel and give you a nice quality item. Matter of fact, I'm actually wearing one right now, and I'll tell you what, it's actually really comfy. I love wearing these things. I wear them all the time. The shirts are awesome because they're very, very soft, and they're affordable. I'm not kidding, because there's some channels that'll sell you a t-shirt for $30, and it falls apart in 10 days. Meanwhile, I'm selling you a nice, comfy, quality shirt at a very affordable price. It's like $22. I know the prices are kind of weird looking, but that's okay. Get yourself some kind of piece of item and get it soon because racing season is starting. Get your race team merch there. So we're going to be full-time at Stafford hopefully this year. And you can get it all before the season starts if you act now. So GleasonBrosRacing.com. All right, enough of that spiel over with. We're getting back to the race car and the last little bits of mechanical stuff that we have to finish up before we get this thing on scales. I want to be a little bit ahead because I do have a week that I'm not going to be home. So I would like for when I come back, the week leading up to the race, I'm going to be back literally 6 days before we go racing. So I'm going to have a little time. I would like to take the car and just have to size tires and put it on the ground onto some scales. Now we've already started on that from the back forward. We did the rear axle. We checked all that. We touched the shocks. I still have to grease the drive shaft. I don't remember the last time it was, so that's probably a good chance to do that. Got to go through the front suspension. Now, there's some issues here that I do want to address, and we also just got to perform routine maintenance. Chief among which was I forgot to zip tie the ducting back together at the bottom, so we got to do that. Check the wheel bearings, pack those, reinstall them, check the seals, make sure they're okay. Check the brakes. I didn't buy all new brakes or stuff because you know what? You're going to be replacing them at some point in the season anyway, whether it's race 3 or race 5. Who the hell cares? So we're going to have to check those. Engine runs good. I didn't check the charging system to see if that worked. I'm sure it does. It's the same as it was. I got to just double check everything to make sure everything works. Like flip the fan on. Check the charging system. There's something on the left front we also got to look at too. Now this left front A-frame is bent. Let me see here. Now I don't want to show you because there's some kind of stuff that I do to it. Yeah. What it is the front is bent kind of down, but it's not bent across here. So it's kind of like tweaked like this. And I'm sure it's been like that all season last year. It's something I can probably fix if I pull the ball joint out and just kind of hammer it flat. But after I do that, I don't want to put it back on the car. I have new ones with new ball joints. I think I'm probably just going to swap them out just because it's 2 bolts, well, it's 3 bolts really if you count the ball joint. Yank them out, stick a new one on, then stick it on turn plates and do caster camber toe, and you're good to go usually. So we'll probably end up doing that because I don't want to deal with the possible geometry issues that a bent upper would have. And I'm also going to have to do something about my trailer because I believe I've told you guys about this last video, but when I put trailer brakes on that trailer, which it needed last year, and the truck got a transmission rebuild and all sorts of maintenance had to happen, I had bought brakes and backing plates and hubs and drums and everything like that. And I bought them off of Vevor, and that was a mistake. Now, they're nice when you get them, but when you install them, they work, but they don't really work. Now, if you use something like a American-made product like a Dexter axle, or Dexter brakes, I should say, and they're basically factory type of brake system. So those stop like hell. Like, they'll actually lock the trailer brakes up. That's what came on this trailer when I first bought it. Now, they lasted a good 14 plus years. However, everything needs to be replaced over time. They just flat wore out. I mean, the pads, you saw the video where the pads fell off of them because they were so junk. But I have a really cheap and stupid solution that I'm going to try first before I dump like $600 something into all 4 new brakes again, which I really don't want to do. But I'm not going to deal with trailer brakes that don't stop my vehicle anymore. Because on the way to Stafford, it is all hills. And I've already gotten into trouble with this thing last year because I definitely rear-ended somebody because it wouldn't stop. Unfortunately, it wasn't even with my truck. It was with my brother's truck. Anyway, so we're going to get to work on that as well. So hopefully we can get all this stuff done before I leave, because after this winter, I need a break. Now, here's my dumb idea. These electromagnets from my old brakes, off the old Dexter brakes, are way bigger than the ones that come on the Vevor brakes. They're also, wow, they still got a lot of life left on them. Not bad for 14 years old, huh? So what I'm going to do is just put them on. Hopefully, the stronger and more conductive electromagnet will grab those brakes a lot more because the pad compounds have to be very close. They just have to be. But I'm not even kidding you. It's about this much bigger than the ones that are on it. Now, I've seen plenty of people in forums saying, oh, the magnet doesn't matter. It's the brakes themselves. Well, listen. If the magnet's not strong enough, it won't pull the arm on the brakes to actuate the brakes hard enough because they just don't have the power to do it. So if you put, I don't know, a bigger one on that's more conductive, I think that's going to work better. So it's a free solution to a problem I shouldn't have because I already bought new ones. But you know what? We're here. We might as well try this first. And if I have to, we'll go the route of the other brakes. And you know what? I got a lot of time outside right now. It's lovely out. It is like 55 degrees. It's sunny. I'm actually overdressed right now. I might as well just go out there and start the trailer brakes now because I don't know of any other time I'm going to be able to do it. Nothing's in the trailer. It's not hooked up to anything. Why don't we do that first? Okay, that was pretty quick. Complete failure because the drum face where the magnet rides so that it can actuate and pull the brake lever and pull the brakes to work is so unbelievably scored, and it's got ridges in it that are so deep that I can't even put a different magnet on it. It's already seated to it. You'd think it would be kind of smooth. Absolutely not. It is scored to death because apparently the drum face is also a really cheap garbage material. So I guess new brakes are in order, because that's going to get really expensive, and I can't do anything about these. If I had half a brain, I would have bought the right ones, the expensive ones, and not even tried the cheaper or budget variety, and we wouldn't have been in this problem. But here we are. I suppose I'm not really immune to trying to save money or trying to be on a budget. That bites me all the time. I swear to God, it really does. The old adage, buy once, cry once. Yeah, I should stick to that. I keep thinking, oh man, I gotta save money here, I gotta save money there, because I'm so used to not having it that I just have to try to find the best bargain. And then it's just like, yep, now we're right back to where we started from, because the brakes are garbage because they're cheap. So I'll get online and actually order the correct ones today. And I think we'll just get back to work on this thing, because we still have a lot of other greasy work to do, and the day is still young. For this thing, I'm probably just going to hammer it back flat and stick a ball joint on it, just in case we need one. I mean, God forbid you go out there in the heat race and get caught up in something, whatever the heck happens, and you got to throw it together for the feature. It'll make a feature. It's not cracked, it's not bent, it's not broken, it is bent, duh, but it's not coming apart. It's just bent. And it's not bound up. Apparently she's leaving her droppings behind, but it's not bound up either. I religiously grease these because they're near the headers and they get hot, and I don't like having them run out of grease. I've seen them bound up because they just weren't greased, so I took care of that. I'll just hammer her flat as best I can. Hope for that to just kind of be a good spare. Now, it is still light outside, and it's still pretty early, but I think I'm just going to call it for the day, because I did have a pretty good win. I don't know if it's really solid yet or not, but I'm very hopeful, because it actually seems to be working properly. Anybody who knows me personally or has been following along on the channel for a while knows my road car. And for the mechanics out there and for the techs, I drive a 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I like it. It's quiet, it's big, it's got a lot of power, it has terrible mileage, but it's comfy. I like it. And they have electrical demons. I won't even say problems, because they're demons. I just had an issue where I tried to put a new tip, a rebuilt TIPM in it, and it apparently wasn't good. And I've been fighting with that company to try to get that money back and even send the thing back. And they're starting to come around a little bit. So I bought a brand new one from Mopar, which actually came from the next state over at Tasca, so it was here pretty quick. I put it in today, did the whole reset procedure, and everything starts to work again. And so I'm like, oh, God, finally. Okay, good. Now, because the AC compressor was stuck open, the circuit was feeding power to it at all times, so the compressor was running at all times, and because it would never cycle, it would clog up all the coils, and I wouldn't have any air coming through the ducts, right? Plus, it would drain my battery at night, and that's not good. So I just did that today. It now cycles, it commands on off, it turns on, and then turns back off again. So I think we're finally getting somewhere with that. And hopefully I don't have to deal with that anymore. That would be fantastic. So I'm going to go be domestic for the rest of the evening since we had that win, even though I'm facing a $1,000 bill to put brakes on my trailer. It's not going to be good, guys. Either way, we got to be safe, and we've learned a lesson. And so that's why I have the channel. I can pass my lessons on to you so that you don't make the same mistakes I do. It's kind of like being a parent. You can beat all of the information and wisdom that you have into your child's head and tell them every single day for their entire life, and then they still won't listen to you. But you are all adults, and hopefully you listen. So, and that's not physically beat. That's, that's metaphysically or metaphorically. But anyway, whatever. I digress. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, we're back for the next day in the shop, and I think it is going to be tune-up day. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably end up firing the car up because the oil in this thing is a little thick. I think I run like 2050. Whatever VR1 is normally, I just run that. Whatever, dude. It's fine. Everybody has their own preference and whatever their engine builder tells them to do. From my knowledge, this is what I want, and it's just fine. So in order to get that flowing, I'm going to warm it up a little bit. Plus, while that's draining, I'm going to get to work on the spark plugs. Because these are old. Not sure if they're really any good or not. They're probably fine. I'm sure they are. I've been looking for some stuff that I lost. And I've been working on another video that I've been trying to put together for you guys so that you don't have to wait between weeks in order to watch a video. So that's my thank you for your loyalty, at least. So I'm going to keep looking for whatever that thing is that I lost and get this thing fired up and get the oil dropped out of it. Spark plugs too. Oil is changed. Just gonna button up the last of the spark plug wires, and then I'm gonna fire it up, check the oil pressure, check for leaks, and we'll be tuned up, ready to go. Now, I did my spark plugs in about, 5 minutes, because I have a tool that I've made, and if you guys have watched the channel for a long time, you've probably seen it. And I'll show you it in a second once I get these spark plug wires on. And it is super handy when you've got crate engines or headers or both. Here it is right here. Now what I did was, I just took an old wrench. This is a broken, ratcheting wrench. And I just welded a 12.58 socket onto it. So if you've got a 602 crate or, any other GM crate engine, this will, and you got to measure the depth of it as well so you can get it past the cylinder head and the valve cover gasket and stuff, or the valve cover, I should say. You know what? Since I'm sitting here, why don't I just tell you what the length is? It's about 1 5/8. I was going to say 1.5 inches, but it's not. It's 1 5/8 inches. Complete total depth. So, if you get it to about that size, you can have your own tool where you can just rip spark plugs in and out, no problem. You don't have to fiddle with it. You don't have to use another wrench. One tool, done. All right, let's fire this thing up, and let's get the oil pressure built. And let's see if there's any leaks, just to be safe. And there's the oil pressure. Oil pressure's fine. Oh yeah. She likey. Any leaks, any drips, any runs, any... Nope. Not a dang thing. That's a beauty right there. That's nice to see. I already know it charges. I just checked it a minute ago. Oh yeah. She happy. Okay. Boys and girls, I think we're about ready. I even zip-tied the ductwork together. Oh, by the way, I gotta tell you, I got pretty rad neighbors. They love the race car because they used to work on them, and nobody cares. And I'm so glad for that. I thank God every day. But one of my neighbors came over and says, hey, you know, I was at work the other day, and these contractors were throwing a bunch of junk out, and they were throwing duct tape out. I got like 6-7 rolls. You want one? I'm like, well, yeah, this stuff's expensive. It's like Sure Tape PC 610. This stuff is sticky. I'll tell you what, quality stuff too. I'll probably use it to put a lot of my ducting together, and I think we're good here. I'm going to air this place out and take one look around and see what else we can do. But for now, I mean, aside from greasing the suspension components, which I'm going to do, golly, I'd say mechanically we're pretty much ready. All right, I gave it a quick look over, and nothing real serious or nothing, but I think we're rather happy with what's going on here. And, you know, it's happened my whole life, but I always get a bunch of grief from other racers who say, well, you're not working on it in January, you're not going to be competitive, you're not going to be ready, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, like 2 weeks of work, this thing's ready. Like, the reason that is, and the reason why those guys have to thrash, is because they don't maintain their cars as much as I do. I am very meticulous when it comes to maintenance. When I pulled the cover, the dust cover, off of the front hubs and looked in, the grease looked brand new. Because I maintain them. I always put new grease in them. I always pack them. I always clean them out. Same thing with the rear end. I change the fluid. Same thing with the drive shaft. I over-grease it. I know people have told me, you grease it too much. No, I don't, because it still works and it's not coming apart. Over-greasing is just if you don't want to clean stuff up afterwards. Grease helps, especially when these things are under huge loads from acceleration, deceleration. I'll grease a drive shaft every 2 races because it's cheap. It's insurance. So when I'm going to put my race car together for the new season, if I'm not working on it in January, it's okay. It took me, 2, maybe 3 weeks of lazy work for me to have this thing ready, and right now it's ready to go on scales, and they're still 2 weeks away from racing. We're fine. We're totally fine. A good maintenance program will pay dividends in the long run. So we're going to keep that up this year. We're going to over-maintain the car just like we did last year, because I do not want a mechanical failure to be the problem, because a mechanical failure, unless it's a freak failure, is my failure, and I'm not going to fail myself. So there's that. I'll see you guys tomorrow when we go to put this thing on scales. Yeah, all right, it is the next day. I am going to work on, let's see, considering how, well, I like to think we're far ahead, but, things change. They do. At any given moment, something can change. Like, we could be loading it up, and something could break loading it up. It's happened before. I've been there. Like, a few years ago, my brother and I were going to New Hampshire Motor Speedway to go run the Northeast Classic, and we fired the car up and found it fogging out of the breathers. Now, typically when it's fogging out the breathers, that means there's a head gasket failure. And it turned out to be that. So we literally ended up changing the engine that entire night instead of leaving, which really sucked. I think we got in at like 2 a.m. in New Hampshire, and we spent all night working on it. It was unbelievable. But things happen, So it's not like I can really predict that, and it's not like I can really do anything about it until it happens. So I feel like the prep work that we've done has been really good, and I think now is the time to get the air hose out, get the blocks out, throw this thing on scales, and at least get a number, right? Let's get a number. It shouldn't be a heck of a lot different from what last year's was, given the fact that these are all the same tires, and it's essentially the same setup. I mean, I haven't changed a brick of lead. It's going to be a little off because it's not got enough gas in it. I put what I had left in it, but it's not quite enough. But let's throw it on there anyway. Just kind of get an eyeball on it so that when I come back from vacation, we'll at least know what we're up against. And maybe if we tinker enough tonight, maybe it won't even be a lot. Information keeps rolling in. I'm writing it all down as I go, trying a couple different minor little things. And I did have to waste a bunch of time in the back because I found one of my spring perches on the right rear. The little retainer that we use to hold the spring in place on the rear axle was like a little too big, and I didn't realize it. And apparently the spring was really wedged in there, and I don't know how I missed that last year. So I had to cut it out and put a new one in. That was a lot smaller. Luckily, I'm a hoarder, and I found some old ones that I'd cut off a rear end from years ago, and I threw that on there and just tacked her on, and she's good now, but I wasted a bunch of time doing that. So we started off at a number where I was unfamiliar with, and I had to literally stop filming, go look at my phone, and go figure out what my scale numbers were because I didn't write it down like an idiot, but I did take pictures, so that's good. At least I documented them at some point. We got some work to do, though. We really do. We're not quite to the numbers that we want. Matter of fact, I'm so far off because of where we kind of ended up last year testing stuff that I have to take the front end apart to change the heights because that's the only way we're really going to get it dialed in where we need it to be. And it's really tall, too. I put, it's like an inch too high. I'm like, man, I don't recall it being an inch too high, so I might just let it sit here overnight. Take a look at it tomorrow, see after it settles down a bit, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have to dive into the front end and change heights there just to get the numbers we want. Like I said, it's not because we were way off, it's because we were trying things, and what we were trying... just kind of sweeping cross weight. We were going up and down through the range to see what the car liked and what I liked. And where we ended up, we basically had to change the front because we were so drastically far off we couldn't do it from the back. So the ride heights are going to change so much that's the only answer. So that's going to be fun. We're going to have to go yank the front end apart. Probably... 3 times at least. And if you've ever worked on one of these cars that doesn't have jacking bolts in the front, that sucks. So when I get the number I want, I just want to leave it there and never touch it again because that would be tremendous. We spent all year last year trying stuff, and hopefully we found what we want, and we can leave it there. That would be tremendous. However, since I got such a late start today, yet again, I think that'll do it for today. I'm going to go inside and start packing my stuff so that maybe I can come out here tomorrow and finish up a couple little items, maybe get a little further ahead with the scales than I want. Any moment that I can spend just getting numbers and doing, research and writing everything down would help. And I did that all last year except for that, little bit at the end where I took pictures instead on accident. Whoops. At least I documented it. But data is going to help us a lot. And I don't want to have to thrash for a week on scales. Luckily, we're at the point where we are on scales, and I don't have to be out here until 3 a.m., because I'm last minute doing this. I still have 2 weeks, but I'm not going to be here. So I have essentially an entire week to fiddle with this thing on scales before I load the trailer up and go up there. So I'll let this thing sit overnight, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, guys, it's the next day. You catch me as I'm trying to load up some stuff in my trailer to get it out of the way. Not exactly going the greatest, but, things are starting to happen. And honestly, it's happening a little quicker than I expected, because on these boxes right here are all of my new trailer brakes. Not as agile as I used to be, I suppose, but could be worse. Now, instead of all those cheap brakes that I bought that are on there now that are garbage, I bought the exact same brakes that came on the trailer when I bought it, and it lasted for the better part of 14 years until the pad started to delaminate. That means the bearings, the hubs, the backings, which, by the way, this has 5,200 pound axles in it. Yeah, I just cut that in the wrong spot. That's stupid. All right, well, anyway. This has 5,200 pound axles in it. And, that doesn't look like the picture at all. Great. But it has 6,000 pound brakes. And like I said, that doesn't look like the picture at all. But these are Dexter brakes, which are far better than what I bought. Even though the magnet looks a lot different than what I had in the picture. I had the oval one. And the way they slammed this thing in here, looks like it cut off a lot of the end of the wires. Because they stuck the backing plates in with the hubs. Wow. Anyway, alright. You'd think when you spend $1,000 on brakes, they would probably be a little bit more cautious. But what's funny is the pad composition on these drum, what are these called? Shoes? Are they shoes for drums? I think they are. They feel a lot more aggressive than the ones I put on. So, always trust a name brand. I know Dexter axles are more of a name brand. There's the other one, found it. More of a name brand. That's what came on the trailer. So that's what's going back on the trailer. So, you know what? It's probably, the picture was probably a little bit different than the part number that they said. And maybe it's the right part number. Maybe the picture's different. I don't know. But this totally not stolen shopping cart, which I didn't even take it from a store. I found it on the side of the road, so you can't really blame me. Is going to go in here. And we'll deal with it when it's time to put them on or when we have to race, because we got to get a race car in here somehow. I got a few hours left until I got to go get ready for vacation time with the family, but I figure I'll keep going, trying to get this thing to the right ride heights. At least I left the scales out. and maybe get a little bit further closer towards what numbers we need to have, because I'd really love to have a few days of buffer to get the trailer done, to get the truck ready, things of that nature. Because if I come back and this thing is pretty much ready to go with a few minor alterations, that means I can take the rest of the week and put all those new brakes on that trailer and even take a once-over of the truck just to be safe. It'll make it there because, hell, I did half the season like that, but I don't want to if I don't have to. So I'm going to get back to work on this, which is going to include the front end. I'm not looking forward to that in any way. I hate it, but you know what? I think I might go about putting the car back on the quick jacks, pulling these scales out of the way, and just recentering all of the pads because they got a little off when I was, moving stuff around, and holy wind. So I'm going to try to do that first. Maybe that'll help us in the future. So we are really close. We are close enough that all I have to do is sit in the car, look at the numbers on the scales, take a look at them, write them down. If I don't like something, I make a small adjustment, set it, put it in the box. Like, this thing is that close. And I'm really glad because now I can go on vacation just knowing that when I come back, hopefully everything should be pretty easy. No, hey, hang on, I gotta do this. That's actual wood, so I had to do that. But I've had a really long winter. If you guys live up here with me up in New England, it was one of the coldest that I could remember. It was awful. It was like single digits to teens every day, it seemed, for like months on end. It was awful. I know there's people who live in places like that who live like that constantly. That doesn't happen here. That's why I'm complaining, okay? I live here for a reason, not where you live. But boy, I'm just over it. And I need to get the hell out of this town and this state for a week or so just to decompress before we go on to the weekly grind of racing. And it really helps the old psyche to get out of, just chill out. You got to just take some time for yourself every once in a while. And what really helps me out is you guys subscribing. If you haven't done yet, please do it because it just helps a lot. It's totally free. It's no obligation, really. It isn't. I mean, watching the videos helps. Sharing me helps. Anything you can do to help, it matters so much because I take whatever money I make from this and I put it right back in the car, right back into projects, right back into this place. And it really, really has been a great help. And I'm so glad I have this community to fall on because you guys have been really awesome. Another way to really help out the channel, though, is to go to GleasonBrosRacing.com, get your race team merch, and get it now because it is getting close to racing season. It's going to be available during racing season, but if you want it when it starts, now's the time. Get on it. The prices haven't changed. I haven't touched a damn thing. All the stuff is high quality. All the t-shirts, hats, stickers, tumblers. I got the koozies. Check it out. That thing's disgusting. I'm sorry. I should get a fresh one. But check them out, GleasonBrosRacing.com. I'm going to go enjoy myself with my family. This thing is pretty much ready to go. And I'll have a little bit of a special episode for you guys next week, just as a filler, because I don't want you to have to go without something, okay? Then after that, we're going racing. Boy, this is going to be stressful. But I'll see you then. Thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it.